Hello, everyone, and welcome to Blood, Fate, and Fortune, a game of swashbuckling, sorcery, and seduction, all set in the world of 7th My name is Dan McCurdy, and I will be your storyteller this evening. You can find me at RevDMC247 on TikTok or YouTube mostly. If you find me in other places, let me know. It's not me. And I will allow my players to introduce themselves, starting with Natalie.
Hi there, everyone. My name is Natalie, also known as Gizmos Aplenty across all different social media platforms. And tonight I am going to be portraying Leonora Orsini, our Sorte Strega.
Hi, I'm Jeremiah McCoy, aka Basics of the Game at various places. And this evening I will be portraying Mykolas Kelvan.
Hello, everyone. I'm Lakar the Artificer, everywhere on socials that you can find me. And I am portraying this evening, once again, Umberto Vitale, Vodachin Liberator.
Hey, yo. I am Took, I guess, and I am playing Roan Ibex. You can find me at Took, I guess, everywhere, especially here on the Twitchies and on the TikTokies.
All right. Hello, my name is Wolfgar. I go by Reaper Wolfgar on the places where it matters, and I am playing Fr Rafael Rodriguez, our Castilian priest, and that is all he is just a priest.
In our previous session, after not much had happened, in Vidachi, people off getting into their own little issues, Mykolas had a bit of a dream of a scene of war, a dream that he was very rudely awoken from when Rona, the Devas he is in a Sandaris deal with, got him up and warned him of danger in the inn. Arousing everyone else, he went down and saw Janos, very unassuming, very simple appearing gentleman who revealed that he was in fact another practitioner of Sandaris with his own deal, and informing Mykolas that he needed and was overdue to report to the various duties of the Circle, the Ratas, the group of Losejas, those who are in various Sandaris deals who kind of keep an eye on each other and help them. And he very clearly warned that his service to the Circle would have to come first before any and all other considerations, or he might be considered a threat. The task that he was to undergo was actually in order to return home to the Samartian Commonwealth, to woods in the southern part of the country, where monsters and other such things had been noticed, and they were concerned that perhaps this was the action of another Losejas and Devas, perhaps misbehaving. And so Mykolas's first contact was to go and see what was happening in the woods. After some brief discussion about this whole, you're a part of this whole magic faction thing, and Mykolas getting, as I recall, to have a conversation with Lenora's hand, they traveled into the woods. And on the way, they found an old man being beset by a group of bandits. But this was not just any old man. This was Sir Bryant of Avalon, a monster hunter, a knight of Carleon, and the former mentor to Roan Ibex. They helped him in the fight, and after having a grand meal, suddenly the group was attacked by strange dogs that seemed to be made entirely out of blood. They were able to fight them off gloriously in battle. But then Sir Bryant, having through some of the magic of the group, having been brought back to his full power, fighting as he had once in his youth, Sir Bryant died, apparently of old age, impervious even to the healing abilities of Raphael. And as the group sat around him, a man having lived his life to his best and died on the terms he wanted, Bryant looked at Rowan one last time before he drew his last breath, forced her to remember the oaths of the Knights of Avalon, and took his own mantle, the mantle of Buddha the Round, shoving it into his hands and telling her, "You must take up the mantle. And now, Umberto, you've had this dream so many times, it's almost weird on the nights when you don't. You walk on a sea of blood. Around you, the sun burns in the sky, but it isn't hot. It isn't uncomfortable. The wind whips around you, but violently, though it stirs up the waves of the blood on which you walk, it feels like a present breeze. For other people, you know this would be terrifying, but you've been here so many times in your dreams, it almost feels homey and safe. Sometimes there are unpleasant things here, among them the bloodhounds, the dark creatures that seem to be crafted from the blood of this place, but there are others too, others who will meet with you and speak with you. What does Umberto do when he's walking in this place in his dreams?
He's always very cautious. Like, it's familiar, but familiarity and complacency in a place like this, he feels would be dangerous. So no matter how much of it he's seen and how familiar it all gets, he's always on his guard because anything seems to be possible here. So better to keep your guard up and watch out for anything that could happen than let your guard down and become part of the scenery.
As you're looking around, keeping cautious, you notice someone else walking on the waves. That happens from time to time. Sometimes they don't seem to notice you. Sometimes they come right to you and initiate a conversation. And this one seems to be one of the ones who's walking towards you. An old man, hair tied back in a ponytail, wearing finery that makes you think of Montaigne. Montaigne finery, and he walks up and as he approaches you and says, "Greetings, young man. Pleasant evening, isn't it?"
Indeed it is, sir.
I don't know that I've run into you here before.
Travels often have me taking the long scenic way around.
Have you seen any of the creatures, any of those monsters of the waves?
I have.
Which
Fought
one?
too many times. Those damn dogs.
Quite a shame that. I normally like dogs.
I used to.
They come when the seas have grown rough, turbulent. They are the rapids of the blood, eddies and sticks and stones that can catch the unwary.
That makes sense.
Have you seen any Blessures, lad?
Can't say that I have.
That's what you keep an eye out for. When the sea bubbles over and boils into the land of the living and the walking. Those holes in the world that allow this place to bleed through. Were you taught how to close them?
I was given the, how would you say it, abbreviated version.
I hear Vidaci on your voice. Do you remember the culverts that redirect water to the fields and keep them from washing out roads? Such brilliant Vodachin engineering.
See?
Have you ever been near one that was plugged?
Several times.
As a boy once, I was near one and I saw that it was blocked. And so I thought it would be helpful to go and to take my hands and pull the blockage away. And I was too close to the hole. Do you know what happened then?
You got sucked in.
I did. There is a current, a suction between the worlds. This is why the creation of such things is so frowned upon. To close a blessure, you step through and close it from the other side. Attempting to close it from Thea will create such a suction. And the monsters brought in will be difficult to face. Better to go through you who can come back.
That makes sense.
He tilts his head to the side. You weren't entirely surprised by that. You haven't heard it in those terms before, but you've had some training. Who taught you?
My blood.
A beautifully enigmatic answer. You'll do well. And he starts to walk away, and then he pauses and looks over his shoulder. What do you remember of your mother?
She had a voice as beautiful as a breeze and just as dangerous as the winter chill.
It's good to know some things don't change. I will be seeing you later, Umberto. And he snaps his fingers and vanishes. And you wake up. All around you, the group is sleeping around the fire that they had set up the night before. Would anyone have been taking the third watch? Rafael is sitting by the fire, just kind of poking at it, keeping an eye around. Off to the side, wrapped in his blankets and bedroll, is the body of Sir Bryant. And Umberto, you sit up on your bedroll.
Oh, that is the last time. He's gonna look for his water skin and take a big drink.
Did your dreams trouble you, my friend?
They always do.
Hmm.
Not as interesting as this one, though.
Oh, I do wonder. And Raphael looks around and makes sure everyone else is still asleep.
Seems to be.
This is you and I are going to need to talk at some point.
Oh, about what?
About what you were hiding.
Hiding? I'm an open book. Ask me anything.
Oh, what were you so worried about us finding out when you were talking about the fact that you had not seen those dogs before
Oh,
and
no,
had
I
no
said
idea what they were?
Oh, no, I said that I had fought them before. That's why I don't like dogs.
But you did know where they came from, though. Did you not?
I have a good idea.
Hmm.
And trust me, if you'd like me to give you the whole answer, I could very easily do that. But something tells me we're going to find it soon enough. And me telling you and you seeing it firsthand, two different, very good stories.
I am just making sure that everyone here is safe, to include you. You
Oh,
are
please.
all priorities in my book, and I may not have some of the gifts that some of you have, but I am no less sharp.
What gifts? You compare between the two of us. I mean, you might be a little quicker. You, you know how to use a sword. You're not bad looking. Or Roan
Hmm.
seems to think so. Um,
Speaking. Wait, what? Hold on.
please.
We're not. This is not the. This is not a game of distraction, my friend. I know you misdirection is key in your line
Okay,
of work.
I'm willing to say that at wait, what? Everyone is awake now.
What is going on? What?
Look at that.
So-
Everyone seems to be awake. Is it? Yeah, I think I'm gonna go back to bed now.
No.
You see Lenora just wiping a whole bunch of drool off of her back.
Mykolas, when he wakes up, his hand comes away with a pistol. Like, what?
It's okay. I just startled Raphael. It's okay. Nothing. Everything's fine.
Right. Good.
Someone glances, anyone who glances off to the east will see the sun starting to peek up over the horizon.
Do Mykolas, do you happen to have an implement for digging? A shovel of a sort?
I have a knife. I don't carry the full pack I used to when I was in the army. But why are we burying the pleasant giants here? Is that the plan?
I don't think that is for us to decide. I think that we should allow our friend Rowan to make certain decisions.
This
Agreed.
everyone is fair. I just
Around this time, Persepolis, Sir Bryant's very old horse, clops over and starts nuzzling and nosing at Lenora, just like very,
All right. Back off, you beast. I have to go. Where is that cornucopia? She's gonna like go and walk over towards that cornucopia that Sir Bryant was graciously feeding us
Mhm.
with.
yeah, you see it.
And she's gonna inspect it if she like has to do anything with it.
You pick it up and you kind of look at it, and there's fresh fruit in it. You see an apple right at the front of the cornucopia.
Oh yeah. All right. Lenora takes the apple, looks over at Rowan and says, I wouldn't take this if you would not have me. Is this all right?
Ron, who by the way was awake the whole time, has not went to sleep at all. She just was kind of leaning against the tree with her eyes closed.
So she heard what Umberto said.
Oh, she heard
no.
all of that shit. But she just not in the mood for obvious reasons. And she'll look over to Lenora and just go for it. It's fine.
All right. She's gonna take the apple, walk over to Persepolis and cut it in half and say, "Here you go, you stupid horse."
Persepolis grabs the half of the apple and then very ostentatiously starts trying to get the other half.
All
What?
right. And she's gonna like take him because obviously he has like the zoomies right now, and take his reins and be like, "We'll be right back," and starts to walk away just a little bit to like the tree line,
Mhm,
as she's also feeding the other apple.
mhm. And every time you pull a fruit out, when you go to reach back in, it is full again.
I think Mykolas is going to just get up and start walking to the direction that the spring was in. He's just going to head that in that direction.
All right. You head over that way. The spring is mostly fed by mountain snowmelt, and so it is rushing very well.
Okay. He's going to wash up. He's going to actually take off his shirt. He's going to wash the blood off of it from fighting those bloodhounds and so on.
Mhm.
Clean himself up.
You are instantly more awake than you had previously been. Snowmelt is very cold, but there's a sense of it as you are splashing yourself in it where it would have been more uncomfortable for you a few years ago.
Mhm.
Cold never bother. No, I can't do that. We'd get hit. The cold doesn't bother you as much as it once used to, and so you're there splashing yourself off, and you are very awake though. Coffee's got nothing on this.
Yeah. And after he's done, he will just wander back to camp. See about getting fresh clothes out of his pack.
Mm-hmm. Umberto, you went back to sleep?
He went and laid back down, yeah, but he's not exactly going to sleep. He's just going to fake it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Rowan?
Raphael's,
Raphael, go ahead.
yeah, Raphael's gonna walk up to Rowan and just sit with her, like stand beside her. He's not gonna speak just yet, mostly because he could feel the wave of "I'm not in the mood" coming off of her. I imagine his empathy is high enough to see that, but he is gonna sit or lean like up against the tree with her and just hold space for now.
So, Rowan, you've been up all night. You're tired. You're grumpy. Where are you at?
She doesn't react at all when Raphael is next to her, because she has been just staring at Sir Brian's body and it being all wrapped up, and all night she has been trying to decide what to do with his remains. And I think she's made a decision, but again, she's kind of still a bit in disbelief, and she's been looking at the mantle and she's kind of staring at it also, and going over the I blinked for like 5 seconds. I'm getting in Rowan headspace a little too well. And just been thinking over and over about the oath. And just repeatedly going over it. And then she'll finally just kind of look at Raphael. And she doesn't look sad or even like upset. Just like this plain face. And she'll say, "Do you do this a lot?"
Do what exactly? Funerals?
Just deal with the dead?
More than I care to admit. But it is unfortunately a way of life. Doesn't make it any easier, though.
No? Well, unfortunately, I've had the opportunity to be witness to a lot of death. a lot of death. I think this is the first one that was more or less a peaceful one,
Mm.
especially it being someone that I deeply cared about. So, in a weird way, it's a little refreshing. But
It's it is it is interesting, the people that we hold dear and hold into such high pedestals, and we think they are 10 foot tall and bulletproof, and they death comes for us all, unfortunately, and it still does not make the blow any less painful when it does. Knowing it's coming does not lessen the pain of its arrival, no matter how peaceful it is.
normally, I would agree with you. But where I'm from in Avalon, there are literal immortal beings there.
Hmm.
It's wonderful. I mean, of course, I knew that he wasn't one, but it felt like it for a long time there. You
I
know,
can-
uh, even though he is an amazing fighter, he didn't really like doing it a lot. It was more of like a hobby, I feel.
So the best warriors usually tend to be that way, I have found.
Well, I'm confused because I am quite the opposite. I look for a fight everywhere I go. But one thing I have learned from him, especially on the day I was initiated into the part of the nights where we hunt monsters and whatnot, uh,
See,
that especially after he saved me from a whole bunch of were creatures, wolves, monsters, slashing them down like it was like nothing. It was fantastic to see. And then he saved me, pulled me out of the water like it was nothing, and then continued to talk my ear off for like 4 hours.
he he seems to be ever the charmer and always eager to tell the story.
Yeah. Literally the only person to never really be super affected by that is his wife, who, by the way, is a literal immortal. I don't, I, this is, she just kind of take a deep breath and lean her head against the tree again. And she goes, I'm tired.
What can I do?
And she'll turn and look at Raphael, and many images kind of pop into her head of people that she loved before, and then one specific man will appear, and she'll just kind of stop staring at Raphael and immediately stand up and kind of turn away from him a bit. Um, nothing right now, but thank you. I
Mm,
appreciate you. Uh, but
mm, But just so you know, this grief that you carry, you do not have to carry it alone. I'm not, I am, for one, too stubborn for my own good, and I certainly won't let you face it alone, and I cannot, although I cannot speak for the other three, although they are probably all three just as stubborn. I can only speak for myself when I say that I'm here. Whatever capacity you need.
Jumping over towards the woods, Lenora. You are walking with Persepolis. Got him by the reins, and he's just sort of clopping along beside you. Occasionally reach his head down, chomp a little bit of grass, and then immediately head back up, nudging into you, trying to get at whatever fruit you happen to be eating as you walk alongside him with the cornucopia in your hands.
I am just trying to give space where space is needed, and also take some time to reflect on all that has happened. Having this little nudge of Persepolis is oddly comforting, and reminds her of home for her little donkey that she used to bring around and help people from port bring their bags to the local inns and stuff like that. So it was kind of a time to reminisce, and she'll keep shoving apples towards his direction to gain his favor. And
he's chomping away on all of them, and then all of a sudden, as you're walking, suddenly you feel a little bit of a tug on the reins, and as you stop and turn, you see that Persepolis has stopped walking and is just kind of standing still, his head sort of low, looking like he was about to go for a bite of grass, but not, just kind of frozen in the moment.
Come on, you all right? And she'll draw attention and like go over by where his neck is, and give him some pats.
He suddenly lifts his head up and then just gives out this mournful neigh. Just long and drawn out. And then lowers his head, kind of shakes himself off, and just kind of nudges into you again.
He meant so much to you. And you meant so much to him. I know that for a fact. And she'll kind of awkwardly give like one of those hugs that some people give their horses, and just kind of have my head around where their chest would be, and just kind of petting them over to the side, and say, kind of go up towards his face and just say, you know, you're welcome to join us if you wish, but I will not say that our journey will be not perilous, and you deserve a good life.
And at that moment, he kind of, there's another shake of the head and a snort from the nose and a pawing at the ground, and he reminds you of a charger, like someone with a knight in, like a horse with a knight in full armor and a lance going. And he looks at you and you're like, oh, right, you're a battle horse. You're an old,
very old
battle horse.
Can I like roll like a notice or something to see like I obviously know that he's a battle horse, but can I tell if he is equipped to continue being a battle horse? You know what I mean?
Let's see. This is going to probably be more. What's your notice?
It's a 2.
And what's your scholarship?
1.
You don't know the most about horses.
More of a mule guy.
Yeah. But he's in that moment of movement, you're like, you've got another long journey in you. Like he does not seem like he's about to fall down dead. Now, obviously, that kind of look can be deceiving, as Sir Bryant just showed you all, but there's nothing about him that seems, he's old, he's world weary, but he's not tired. He seems to have energy, and with the way he's like nuzzling at you and stuff like that, like clearly this is a horse used to This is a horse used to a doting master who has a cornucopia literally always full of his favorite fruit. Like, this is a spoiled ass horse. But this is the horse of a knight of Avalon.
Yeah.
And yeah.
All right. Well, as long as you don't run me dry, and she'll take the cornucopia and just put it upside down and just to see what happens.
The horse ignores it entirely and nothing falls out. And when you glance in it, when you've done that, it is empty.
Oh. And then I'm going to write it up and just look into it.
And now there's some wheat and stuff looking perfectly ready to be ground to make bread.
I see we'll keep you for as long as we can then, hey? All right, well, let's get back over there and let's see what we can do to give your master every respect that we can.
Down by the river, Mykolas, as you are getting all cleaned up and good and awake, and you're standing there, your shirt and your armor and stuff. Would you have also like washed your clothes in the water? Like, yeah, so they're laying out on rocks or maybe hung from the boughs of a tree in order to dry after you got them kind of soaked out. And as you are feeling the cold of the wind off the mountains and the lingering from the water, Rona seems contemplative. She hasn't used any words yet, but you always have this kind of vague sense of her emotional state. Like someone you know very well, who, even though they're not immediately an eye shot, like a long-term partner where you just have a feel for them. Which is weird. Contemplative is not her usual jam. You are muted.
Since they are alone,
Mhm.
he will say, "What is on your mind?"
The body still among you. Normally, the body falls, and we march on. I am not used to the bodies that remain.
That's because you are more invested in the war and not the warriors. Soldiers see bodies. They see the people who have to grieve them. I was an officer. I had to tell wives and children that their fathers and husbands, brothers, sisters, wives weren't coming home.
And that was a war of its own. But when we walk among the battlefields, your eyes were not on the dead. They were on the troop movements, the cannon. In the heat of battle, you do not look at the dead. Your eyes stay on the living, or else you would join the dead. True?
I always remember them, but I always pay attention to the imminent threat when I'm fighting. But when the fighting's done, you have to see to the butcher's bill.
This group you travel with.
Yes, my friends. My company.
Your company. Friends is an odd human affectation. But your company. They fight well, in their way.
Yes.
Would you take them to war, if the war was worth winning?
I would trust them in any battle. I would not take anyone to war if I could avoid it.
Have you ever been able to avoid it? Even once?
When I was young, I was ambitious. I looked forward to the battle. After you've killed enough people and seen enough people killed, you become a little less eager.
Wouldn't you say the soldier is the one who fights because someone else chooses, whereas the warrior chooses their fights?
I think I would say that maybe you have hung out in too many poetry houses.
The ones, they are so nice. We often quote them in our own circle.
I am at a place where I have made my stand and have picked who my companions are. If that makes a difference between a soldier and a warrior, I do not know it.
This Fate Witch you travel with,
What about her?
her powers intersect interestingly with ours. Don't you think?
I do not understand the magics as well as she does, but yes, I imagine they do intersect in some places. Is that why you keep yelling in my ear?
I yell in your ear because she is dangerous, but yet I wonder. She is not what I expected, nor what you expected, I imagine. I suspect you would like to avoid having to take her life.
I take my own first.
Even if it meant setting me loose?
There are ways of doing it without doing that, aren't there?
There are.
I do not want to cause any of my company harm.
There is a way to alter the deal. It'll take work, though. A mastery of the craft. To this point, you have been an opportunist. But if you grew in power,
so would you.
Indeed. But this new me would want a new deal. One that would maybe not place your pet witch in such danger.
She is not a pet.
Neither is that horse, and yet here we are.
Get beyond the insults to the point, Roan.
Learn your power. And then when we expand and I grow, there will be a new deal. More power for you. More power for me. And Leonora Orsini kept safe. Was that preferable?
I will pursue this thing if it keeps her and the rest of my company safe. From you, at least. I know you can't promise others.
I can't promise anything. If you choose to use the power in a way that would hurt them, and according to a deal we make, I could not stop you. I'm merely offering to change a deal That puts you in one poorly asked question away from needing to strike her down or loose me upon the world.
Very well.
Whether or not you take up on it is up to you.
What is the first step?
Find a way to practice a minor act of our power, beyond the tricks you've used to this point, something that requires a new deal.
I have just the thing.
I'm listening.
We can preserve Sir Bryant's body.
With ice. Clever. An ice that lasts. Very clever.
I will ask
Because-
Roan's permission, but
As you wish. I'll be here.
what would you
Shut
want in return?
In time, you and your little group are going to celebrate the life of the deceased. That is the way, yes? Traditions change,
Yeah.
but the custom remains. During that ceremony, you will by name offer my praises of the gloriously deceased.
What praise do you offer a Knight of Avalon so that I might honestly give them?
It was not him, but one of that mantle, who was slain by a brother of mine centuries ago. A worthy battle, a worthy opponent. And you know I give no higher praise than that.
Very well. Then I can do that. But I will ask Ron first to make sure he wants to preserve the body, but I think he will want to see it home.
You get a sense of a nod and stepping back.
Okay.
Rona is still there, as always, but not at the forefront of your consciousness in the moment.
After he has a moment or two to clear his head, he's going to collect up his clothes that still need to finish drying, but he figures he should probably do that back where everybody else is.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to walk back. He's in his short clothes, but he's going to walk back.
You all, anyone who walked away, everyone comes back. The sun's now a bit higher up in the sky. And Mykolas and Leonora and Persepolis all kind of stepping, sauntering, clopping, whatever the case may be, back into the camp.
Ron. If you want, I can preserve Sir Bryant for the trip home. If you want it.
Well, I was just telling Raphael that I have decided what to do, and that is on par with what I was thinking. Better than the other option. If you can do so, I would be okay with that. As long as it didn't come with any repercussions. Because last time I saw you do something like that, I noticed that you wasn't your usual self. So if this is gonna hurt you or cause you any type of pain in any way, I don't want that to happen.
It is not a price that I am unwilling to pay. It won't hurt me.
Okay. Well,
All right.
if you wish, go for it. And she'll like just kind of back up.
Very well. I will preserve him, and then we can have a impromptu funeral.
That'll be fine.
All right. Let me get dressed first.
Umberto, do you mind helping me with the funeral pyre for the not so favored over in the corner? If that is all right with everyone else.
See, I have no problem with that.
All right. Well, we'll take care of that, and we will reconvene to say some respectful words for Sir Bryant.
See, I will.
Perfect.
I have some things, and Raphael's going to wander over to his bag and pull out his book of prayers and pull out the holy symbol out from the inside of his shirt and let it hang. And he's going to walk over to the side and kind of just slowly turn the pages, looking for something.
Mykolas, as you walk over to where Sir Bryant is wrapped in his blankets and other such garb, it's a very peaceful scene around. And then Rona says, "At your word."
He'll, this is presumably after he has gotten dressed and everything. He comes
Mhm.
over, kneels down, puts his hand on Sir Bryant's chest. And says, "Rest well, noble knight." And cold begins to radiate out of his hand. And anyone who stands nearby can feel a chill coming off of him as the body begins to coat in ice.
Ice and frost. There's a bit of humidity in the air, and whenever the wind blows over him, you can see steam rising off of him as the water starts to condense around. But the body freezes, and there's this coat of frost over it, and then the chill in the air goes away, the chill from Mykolas's hands, but the body retains that layer of frost.
Let it be known to all who would remember this noble knight that Rona, the Crow of War, remembers the bearers of this mantle well as fighters worthy of honor. And he'll take a step back.
Does anyone else step up to speak?
When Mykolas had stepped up to do that, Raphael's going to stand and hold vigil. Is going to be standing sort of near the head of Sir Bryant, and is going to wait for any and everybody else to return in to speak before he goes into his prayers, as it were.
I think Leonora would walk up to Sir Bryant's body and kneel down to his face and give him a kiss on the cheek, knowing that a blessing isn't going to do anything, but just as a sign of respect and of remembrance. And she is going to simply say, fate has brought us all here, and I am forever grateful that it has brought me to you, even just for a moment. It was truly a pleasure, Sir Bryant. And then she'll walk away.
So you are performing a blessing in that moment?
I am not performing a blessing. It's more of a sign of respect.
Gotcha. There is a moment as you were there, because you started that like you did the kiss and everything with the way that blessings can be conveyed, and you feel the potential for it, which is shocking. Would Leonora have done blessings over the dead before? Probably not, based on what you said, right?
No, she wouldn't have. Could
the magic is there for a blessing to take if you want to spend the lash.
Before she pulls away, obviously she wants to know everything about her powers as much as possible. So she's going to take the lash and spend the blessing.
This puts you at 4 lashes, correct?
Correct.
All right.
Woohoo!
Yeah, as you do this, the frost around him seems to almost sparkle and shimmer. And everyone who's even vaguely looking in that direction sees it, as the magic of the blessing seems to settle into the body. And Rowan, you feel an odd warmth from the mantle in your hands. And that is when it connects. Sir Bryant is dead. Sir Buddha is not. Raphael. But before we move on from that, a voice just behind Mykolas's ear goes, "Very interesting." Father Raphael.
Does Umberto want to say anything? Does he look like he's going to move to speak at all? Okay. I wanted to ask first but Raphael has gone through his entire little book, and this book has been full of little prayers that he has written or that he has copied down from his time on the island with his faith, and even some that he has written up since leaving the island. And he, for a moment, just kind of sits up, and then he looks up at the sky, sort of as the sun has risen and everything else, and then looks down at the book and the holy symbol, and does a bit of the sign of the cross, and kind of goes through the pre-scripted version of last rites for this. And then as he kind of comes to an end with that, we'll say, "The light of the prophet guided us here and shone on you so beautifully in your final fight. I only wish that it would follow you into the next life that you wish to take."
As you're saying that, there is a break in the clouds, and a beam of light from the sun comes down the shaft, first on the body and then slowly spreading out, removing the last chill of the morning.
And as a final words is in nomine Patri et Filii et Spiritus Sancti, and we'll just kind of will kind of place this the holy symbol kind of briefly against Sir Bryant's forehead, and we'll take a step back, and we'll look to Rowan and offer a look of sympathy and empathy, having done many funerals and things of that nature, just trying to offer that look of sympathy and empathy sitting there with that.
Rowan, do you speak?
I think this is the first funeral she's ever like actually been to, or been a part of. So she doesn't know what to say. So she will walk forward, reach into her pocket, and pull out a copper penny and just lay it on his left foot. And she will go, "For good luck in the afterlife. I'm gonna miss you, my friend." And tap his leg. And just lovingly look at his face for a bit, and then she will back up.
There's a sense of the moment that seems almost to linger. And Rowan, you remember it wasn't a funeral, it was more like a wake. A knight had died in battle, as it happened, against Montaigne. And Sir Bryant had gathered around the warriors that had known the deceased, and anyone around him was throwing a grand banquet like he always did when he was home. And he told stories of how that warrior had fought, how they had partied, the men she had loved, the just this glorious recalling of her deeds. And you remember thinking he was getting pretty long-winded, as Bryant often did. And he had walked over to you, clapped his hand on your shoulder, and said, "Remember, girl, that is how you wake a night. With the stories that can get passed on. So even in death, they can bring people hope."
Ron will have to stand there for a second. Suddenly start to smile. And she's been carrying his sword. And she will take it out from its scabbard. Also taking the scabbard off of her hip. And she'll turn kind of like to the others as she's walking towards his body once again. He did a lot of very brave but funny stuff. He was very weird in his ways. But training under this man, knowing the mantle he held, was an honor. I'm honored to say that I have the multiple chances to fight against him. The multiple times of being able to save people of the Avalon from monsters and just do good and prove to everyone that we deserve our names, our mantles, and the honor that we receive. This is the same thing that he has said to me a number of times. Rowan, one night I fought a whole bunch of wolves by myself, victorious in my own right, riding Persepolis, the sturdiest steed there is. She lifts a sword in the air. After defeating my foes, I yelled, I am a knight of Avalon. I hold the mantle of Dada. And I am Sir Bryant. And then he described how he fell off Persepolis and did a speech to dead wolves. But not only did he do a speech to dead wolves, he did a speech to a young woman, a girl in the woods watching him, abandoned and lost. He didn't know that I was there watching him. But I will never forget this. And I will make sure generations and generations remember this. Thank you. And then in Castilian, she will say, my father. And she will put the sword back in her scabbard and place it on his chest.
Lenora?
Lenora would like to read Rowan as she's retelling the story.
As you were reading Rowan, as per always, the wheel manifests over her, and her arcana unchanged, but you can see strings. It is not uncommon for people to carry shared strings, particularly people with strong relationships. The more time you've spent with someone else, the more connected with your fate someone else is, the more cords are visible between the two of you. In fact, you'll notice that you're starting to see some of these cords and threads linking between you and the people here, and those links are starting to interconnect in a weave. But you are watching something you've never seen before, as multiple threads are connecting between her and Sir Bryant. And not just like straight lines, they're crisscrossing, they're creating a literal weave as they grow and they connect. It is a border starts to form around it, showing a sheen of purple, rich royal purple. The background is an almost samite like white, and in the middle, gleaming like gold, is a cup, and the cup seems to shimmer and shine. And it's weird because as you're looking at it, you start to realize that the connections are coming from Bryant to Rowan, not the other way around, as if the whole thing is sort of moving towards her, but it's a slow process. You get the impression that much of what you're seeing has been there for a while. This is just the first time you've really read them in close proximity. And the fact that those chords and strings are still forming is interesting and something outside of your experience.
Good to know.
As the funeral comes to an end, Umberto, you feel another wave of vertigo hit you. Not as bad as the previous one, but it still kind of catches you.
He's just gonna rub his temples and in Vidachi and go, oh, not again.
In Vidachin, Lenora says, Umberto, you are right.
Remains to be seen.
Does this mean to wrap this up, or shall we continue to mourn?
I don't want to press anyone for things, but quicker would be better.
Umberto, as you hold out your hand, you're very expressive. You're Vidachin, you speak with your hands. And as you hold one hand out, suddenly a single drop of blood lands in the middle of your palm. And looking up to see where it came from, you see what appears to be a hawk made entirely out of blood, flying north.
Well, at least I know which direction we need to go.
You are muted, Jerma.
Well, it is probably the best thing to honor Sir Bryant by finishing hunting the thing that's bringing the monsters, after all.
Yeah.
I am going to point out something that will be disappointing to you, Ron. The monsters we're fighting don't have heads. They don't have bones.
She will loudly roll her eyes. And then we'll just kind of turn back to Mykolas and go, I think for the first time in my life, I don't care.
Good.
All right. How are we handling the body? What is the plan there?
I think that Persepolis, his mighty steed, should carry him back to where he came.
Yeah, that part. We still have our horses from when we were riding up here to begin with, so like I feel like putting tying Sir Bryant to his back would probably be a smart idea.
Yeah. So interesting. You go to pick Sir Bryant up, and Sir Bryant was a big guy and a tall guy, and now entirely frozen, stiff as a board. As you go to look up, you realize
and or Rowan do this.
Yeah, they can figure it out.
The priest probably cannot be of much. Well, no, he's got 2 dots in brawn. He's not a string bean, but this is not his wheelhouse.
We could probably rig together a I forget the word. Basically a platform for it to drag behind it. That's probably the easiest way to do it.
I would think that maybe they would already have one, like a wheelbarrow almost.
Wait, we brought a cart.
We did bring a cart.
Oh, we did bring a cart. Yeah, we did.
We did bring a cart. So yes, we'll put him in the cart.
Okay.
Yes.
You are able to get him up, because it was like anyone who was like, the saddlebags approach. No, like he's just gonna be a lever on the back of Persepolis. And so yeah, you are able to lift him up and get him into the cart. And as you're doing that, Persepolis is kind of following and watching and seeing what happens. If more than one, is Rowan going to try to do it on her own?
No, she'll ask for help from.
Okay. In that case, no risk involved. The people who do it are able to pick him up and put him down in the cart. And Persepolis kind of observes this and approves, and then kind of steps into position in front of the cart.
Buddy,
that he is not giving us a choice in this matter.
No.
We can rig it for him. It will actually be easier on Persepolis than carrying someone. So
I agree. Lenora's going to go and undo the reins of the horse that is tied to the cart currently and bring Persepolis in, being like, of course. And
you
she'll
notice-
give him a little bow.
And you notice all of you, your animals, your horses, the mule, who are
Oh, my
here.
mule's not there.
Oh, the mule's not there. They're all showing deference to Persepolis. It's a very similar feeling to soldiers when the Lord is around. Like, this horse's nobility to them, and the deference they show this apparently ancient horse is significant and immediately visible.
I mean, well, Persepolis is also bigger than all of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's
rode by
yeah.
someone as big as Sir Brian into battle, like darn near a draft horse.
That's a dinosaur right there. That's
He's
what
a
we
huge
call them.
horse.
They're dinosaurs. The hooves are probably as big as dinner plates. Like that's
I
a
just-
big boy.
I just remembered Lenora's 5'2", so
Yeah.
this is a giant horse.
Oh yeah.
and our horse girl story has begun. So we yeah, you are all able to get him hooked up and rigged, and the road that you were taking into the woods is ready to go and available. Are we moving forward?
We have burnt the bodies, and then we'll move forward.
Oh yeah, the burning of the bodies is just a matter of gathering enough kindling and stuff to get it well and thoroughly started. This is a tradition in both Vidachi and Samartia for the unmourned dead, and simple enough to get going. This close to Eisen, the general thought is, let's not leave bodies just laying around. If
No.
and you all begin moving north. And like I said, the clouds have come out. There's still a little bit of cool in the air due to the season, but as you are riding up, it is as pleasant a day as there has been for a while. And an odd, almost energetic bit of energy energetic energy. I use words. A bit of energy has kind of entered into all of you, with the exception of Umberto. The vertigo has not gone away. And with every step that you're taking going north, it's getting stronger. What is Umberto? I can't remember. Is Umberto riding? Is he on the cart? Where's Umberto in all this?
He was starting to ride, but the worst it got,
Mm-hmm.
he would get off the horse and he would get in the cart.
Okay. The horse just kind of walking along next to you as you're dealing with this. And at one point, as you're kind of, getting jostled around and trying to get your head, at one point, one particularly hard kind of rut in the road makes the cart make a little bit of a sideways touch, and you reach out your hand, and as it touches Sir Bryant, your first thought is, holy crap, that's cold. And there's, that moment of pulling back, not frostbite bad, but cold. And then the vertigo clears. You still have a sense of something being wrong or off, but it's no longer throwing off your senses.
Is there anybody else in the cart with him? Or everybody else is on horses, so he's the only one in the cart with.
Well, we had 3 horses, and Persepolis is now a 4th horse, but doesn't have anybody. So there's at least 2 people on a horse at the moment, unless you switched off, and then there should be 1 person in the cart. 2 people in the cart. I can math. I would probably be in the cart.
He would lean in, and just as he's looking, and in Vidachian, you, sir, have been a blessing you do not know of. And I hope wherever the next life takes you, you are even stronger than you were.
Those are some very kind words, Cugino.
He earned every syllable.
I can't agree more. Are you all right?
For right now, I am.
All right. Well, if you are in need of talking, venting, whatever you must have, even in your native tongue, feel free to always ask.
Umberto, just to get a little bit of a sense of where you're at. Because of the military nature of Montaigne and the way they have used sorcerers, not even Sandaris practitioners are as feared as Portiers. Sandaris is, the boogeyman. Portiers are the nightmare that might suddenly appear in your home. And that, and the fact that they really, 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 really don't like Portier practitioners who are not actively serving the crown of Montaigne. Where does Umberto's reticence to talk about his powers, what is the primary source of that, would you say?
He's pretty much at that point where until it's right there in front of them, he's really not going to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
So
what do you think is the primary driver of that? Just old habit, or?
Yeah, because he's not completely grasped on it. So one, he wouldn't know exactly who to trust, who knows what about it, how they feel about it. So it's better to say nothing.
Yeah. All right. You continue riding along. And before long, you're in the trees as the forest starts growing up around you. At first, they're a little sporadic. It's very pleasant, what suburban kids would call a forest. But it's starting to get thick. And the trees are starting to press in along the road. The sun vanishes. You can still kind of see it through the canopy up above you, but you are now, even on the road, basically under almost full tree cover, as a very old forest grows up around you, and you start to walk in. And then, Umberto, as if there was a compass in your head, you look over to the left, and you see a blood red pair of eyes glowing and looking at you from behind the dark of the trees. They weren't there a second ago, but they're there now.
Well, we have arrived. And
you are muted, Natalie.
My friends, we are not alone.
Well, would have been bad if we had ridden all this way for nothing.
You hear growling around you. And Umberto, you can almost point to where they will appear before they do. As 2, 3, 4, 5 of the creatures who are not suddenly there, suddenly are. With a and then an almost sickening splashing sound of water and moisture springing off of them as they step forward, growling. And even though they do not have teeth, they do not have innards, they are just embodied walking blood. You know that they are hungry. And with that, it's time for us to take a break in case we need to get a snack and maybe take this moment to show you some other shows that will be coming on the channel. We'll be back to you in just a little bit.
10.
And welcome back. All right. As these bloodhounds are all 5 of them are starting to stalk around the cart, most of the animals are not happy with this. So anyone who is riding a horse right now, who is that? That is Mykolas, and that is Rafael and Roan. Okay, I'm going to need the 3 of you to make a resolve and ride roll.
Oh god, this is horrible.
There
Is
is
it
a risk
fair?
of 3 wounds in play, and you need at least 1 success to stay on your horse.
All right.
Will we get flair because this is the first time we're rolling this?
Yep. Flair,
good.
because it's the first time.
It's not my worst pool. I actually have some ride skill.
I forgot.
It's so rare I actually give riding risks. It's like, ooh.
Yeah, I forgot that Roan is actually really good at fucking horse riding. Because I haven't had to use it yet.
I got me 2
2?
successes. Yeah.
I also got 2.
2.
Math.
All right, so Raphael and Mykolas are both going to take 2 minor wounds just from staying on, but you do not fall off your horse.
With 1 left over, I have 3.
Do you want to
Raises.
sell that 1 left over?
No,
Okay.
I will eventually though. I
I'm
plan
offering hero points here. Okay, so you. All right. So you will take 1 minor wound from keeping. And Leonora, seeing this, you grab the reins. Persepolis is utterly unbothered.
Lovely.
Just looking around at all of them and gives like another like snort from his nose that actually seems to calm the other beasts down after their initial panic.
Excellent.
As he's there, and he actually steps back slightly as far as the halter will let him, and you realize he's in a defensive position between one of the wolves and the cart. So as the wolves are going around now, I need approaches. It's clear this is going to turn into a fight. What are we doing?
I got it. I am going to spend a hero point, and I think I also have to take a lash to.
Looking.
Yeah, I have to take a lash too. To look at Umberto and say, Cugino, it's time for you to kill some shit. And she's going to activate his virtue immediately.
Umberto, what is your virtue that's being activated?
By virtue?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, do you want to?
No.
Wait. I don't know anything about you yet.
Okay.
No.
What could you tell us what the virtue is that has been activated?
Umberto's virtue, passionate.
Damn it.
Oh,
I had a
no.
50-50 shot. I had a 50-50 shot. God damn it.
How does passionate work precisely?
No.
When another hero is going to take a wound, I can step in and take the dramatic wound for them to prevent their wounds.
All right. So
So basically, she just goes, your time to shine, Kujina, and just pushes him in front of her. So anything that comes for her, he's taking the hit.
Oh, my heart.
how many lashes are you at now, Lenora?
I'm at 5.
You're at 5. Yeah, okay.
Ouch. Oh,
So
this
yeah,
is
anything that comes for Leonora, he's going to automatically jump in front of Leonora to take the wound.
I'm so
To take a
sorry.
dramatic in order
Yes.
to absorb all of the wound she's about to take. Fascinating. Okay.
I thought it was the other one. I'm sorry.
So that's Lenora. Mykolas, what are you doing?
Mykolas is going to pull himself together. Everyone, pull back and use the cart as a defensive position. and
Ooh.
activate his virtue, which gives everybody a hero point.
Okay.
Hey,
Extra hero points for everyone.
we.
Umberto, in the process of hurling yourself recklessly into danger, uh, what is your? you got to say that out loud. We
Yes.
can't keep that away.
Leonora activated meat shield.
Oh my God.
At least you were good for something.
Why are fate witches so feared? I don't know. Okay, so Umberto, what's your approach as you were being hurled into danger for the pretty face?
Yeah, he was going to leap over the end of the cart, and he was going to leap over this way and go to that one, but he suddenly felt compelled to leap over the direction where Leonora was. And so he's like, yeah, I feel like going this way is the right idea.
Can I
All right.
clarify, please, that it says that it's activated when another hero takes wounds. So it could be anyone. You could still do what you want.
Oh, we're
Oh
flavoring.
no, we're flavoring this.
So
We've added that Italian seasoning.
so so go ahead and give me your, this is resolve and weaponry, because this is not a haha swashbuckling. This is you putting yourself in the way of danger and standing there as it takes it. So resolve and weaponry. And real quick, as she touches you, you also feel as you leap out this weird, almost wrenching. It's not a physical wrenching, but you can tell fate is up to something. I am spending villain points as anything you roll, Umberto, 5 or below, discard the dice. It doesn't exist.
Oh, I hate that one.
Rowan, what are you doing?
Oh my God.
Okay. We're currently still on our horses and whatnot. Wow. That happened. She's going to smack and whack with her axe.
All right.
While on this horse, yes.
So you're doing this from horse. So this is going to be your finesse and weaponry, because it's hard for you to put all of your strength into this attack from horseback. So resolve and weaponry. And
Resolve
Raphael?
and weaponry. Okay. Yeah, I could do that.
I don't, he has never had to do this. So his first thought is to but he could probably him holding onto the horse, taking wounds and everything else, he is going to like pull off his rapier and sort of run down the line down the one side, and he's going to cover the side of the cart that he is on, and is just going to sort of ride alongside and drag his rapier along the legs.
Okay. So again, you're from horseback, so resolve and weaponry.
You mean finesse and weaponry?
Oh yeah, finesse and weaponry.
All right, so that is that. Where is my weaponry? That's that, and then I get the bonus from that and flair. Excellent.
All right, what is our count on successes, on raises?
3 for me.
3 for Rowan. 1 for Umberto. 4 for Raphael. 1 second while I take a look at. Now we'll handle all this out. So, I'm going to call the one in front of Raphael Wolf 1, and you are able to go around. It is dancing with you. This thing is fast, and sometimes you're not sure if it's actually leaping to where if it's going or if it's just teleporting. Hint: it's teleporting, and but you are able to get some pretty good cuts in, and you have given it some wounds. Roan, you're not the best at fighting from horseback. Sir Bryant often kind of encouraged you to do better, but you're much more of a Leroy Jenkins run up and hit the whole thing with. You're doing all right though, and you managed to get some wounds in on the wolf that you are fighting. Umberto, this should be easy. You've dealt with these things before. They're dangerous and they're scary, but once you take that out, but like you are about to go up and you are ready to skewer this thing, and then your foot lands on a leaf that is slippery for some reason, slides out from under you, and you're barely able to keep on your feet. You functionally only sort of nick the thing. Mykolas, you had also 3 raises, correct?
No, actually, because I was doing my thing, I didn't.
Oh, right.
roll.
Yeah, you did not attack, and nor did Leonora attack. So some damage has been done to some of them, and the wolves come in. Each of you except Leonora is going to take 4 minor wounds as these things spring in. The 4 that were going to go to Leonora. Umberto, you leap in the way of, and you take them for yourself.
You actually just take a dramatic wound and then add 4.
Yeah, I also have a dramatic wound at this point. So I forget the mechanics on the first dramatic.
The first dramatic wound will add a die to all dice pools.
Cool.
Duly noted,
Cool.
because Raphael has one too.
All right. Next round. And again, these are the wolves slashing, and it's pretty clear you're going to need your numbers in this fight. These are not going down like goons.
I didn't realize I was muted. Everybody gets how many wounds, sorry?
You took 4 minors.
4. Bet. Okay. Oh, fuck. All right.
Your first dramatic as well. So
Yes.
some of you have slashes along your shoulder. Umberto, there is literally a bloodhound hanging from your arm right now by the teeth. And everyone except Leonora is now hurt, and blood is flowing. Next round, what are your approaches? Lenora
is gonna say, "Oh shit!" And she is gonna cross her fingers. She's gonna take out her dagger, and she's going to make a cut on her arm, as she's going to pay in blood 5 minor wounds to have a major wound and get rid of a lash.
All right, you are now to your first dramatic, and you're to your first dramatic wound. And yeah, that is. I say it's not a risk. It's not a risk in the way the game classically means it, and so no roll required. And you are now down to 4 lashes.
Can I also, like, in the same stroke of my knife, release Persepolis from the cart?
No, this is a very. You're not like ha. This is a ritualistic cut.
Oh crap!
And no one is in the cart to see at this moment. But as you pull back that sleeve, there will be scars of other similar cuts. Mykolas, your approach. You are muted.
Okay. Well, this has started out so well.
Right.
I will. So I'm going to do something. Take advantage of the fact that I'm basically cavalry, and harry as many wolves as I can, particularly the ones that are on Umberto.
Okay.
But he's harrying them with sword from horseback, He's
So
been
this is
trained
less
into this.
about causing injury and more about restricting what they can do, making sure
Yeah.
they have more than one person to look at. All right. I'm going to have your role for this be your. I'm going to call it your wits and your warfare.
Okay.
Umberto, your approach.
Well, now that he's got the, the pet armrest thing, he's gonna just take out his rapier and just try to slash at this thing to get it off of him.
All right. Since this is less of a haha, more like this is going to be your brawn plus your weaponry. Roan?
Roan, seeing how strategic and dangerous these things are, and she is going to hop off the horse and go to town on one of the wolves.
Brawn and weaponry, please. And Raphael.
Raphael is essentially going to sort of slip off the back of the horse and sort of do a dramatic stand at Rowan's back and making sure nothing can get on side of her to take her unawares, and is basically going to just slash at whoever comes at her back, and essentially is going to rotate with her and run interference, and anything that comes he is going to make sure that does not. So I don't know how to work that.
Back to back with Rowan. That is going to be finesse and weaponry. All right. How many raises, Mykolas?
5.
5. Nice. Umberto? 3. Okay. Rowan?
Give me a sec. Sorry, this is a lot more die than I thought it was gonna be.
All right. So on your 5, Mykolas, you are just riding in circles around this group and giving the wolves all something else to think about. There is a smattering of minor wounds among them, but their attack on the group is going to be significantly reduced because of this.
May I ask a clarifying question, storyteller?
Sure thing.
When you had Umberto roll the first time and you said not below a thing, was that only for that one roll?
Yes, just for
okay. I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah.
I got 5, by the way.
Okay.
3 for Raphael.
3. All right. The first of the bloodhounds falls as Rowan is able to get up underneath and just with a good upswing of the axe, take the head off, and the whole thing just splatters into a blood puddle on the floor. Another one is now pretty badly hurt as Raphael is slashing at it and gets a few stabs in one that tries to get in behind Rowan as she's doing her run around and attack. Umberto, the one hanging off of your arm, you are having some trouble with it. And then all of a sudden, as Mykolas rides by, his saber cuts out and the thing kind of stiffens as it takes some pain, and you are able to drive your sword straight up into its head. And it also spatters to the ground around you. One has jumped into the wagon with Leonora and is going to deal, but it got reduced, 3 minor wounds to Leonora. But it is now up there snarling around with you in the cart. Next round, Leonora, what's your approach?
I mean, I've got this thing in the cart. I am going to.
And you got a knife in your hand.
I've got a knife in my hands. I'm not that strong, friends. I am going to jump onto Persepolis' back, and I'm going to free him from the cart by slashing the reins.
Fascinating. This is going to be a finesse and ride as you try to do this very aerial acrobatic maneuver. And go ahead and ignore anything you roll for or under, please.
Finesse.
finesse
Yes.
and ride. Finesse and
Flair. That's always
and flair. And don't forget your dramatic wound. So 1 from the dramatic wound.
Let go.
While she's doing that, Mykolas, your next approach.
Mykolas is going to give the one that was going after her something else to think about.
Mhm.
He is going to leap off of the horse onto the cart and just sort of drive straight through the construct of blood.
Awesome. Finesse and weaponry. Umberto.
Is that the last one?
No, there's still the other one that started fighting with you. You had 2 on you at that point.
Oh, that's right. There was 2. Yeah. I'm just gonna focus on that one and.
All right. Finesse and weaponry. Roan?
Reroll.
Seeing that Umberto had was getting fucked up,
Nice.
she is going to kind of tap Raphael on the back to let him know that she's moving forward, and she's going to rush with the axe towards the one and help out Umberto.
Mm.
All right.
Yeah. Quick question: did we take wounds that last one?
Oh shoot, sorry. Yeah, I only told Leonora about hers. Raphael, you will take 3. Roan, you are going to take 2. Mykolas, none of the wolves got to get to you because you weren't sticking around to fight them. You were harrying them off of others. And Umberto would also have taken 2 from the one he killed. He killed the one on his arm before it managed to hurt again.
Okay, cool. So, knowing that she is fixing to run forward, he is still going to be at her back, and he is sort of using the footwork that he learned when he was learning how to take down duelists.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to use that and basically run backward, almost like, and he's got his free hand sort of on her back, like on her lower back, sort of as a touching contact point to figure out where she's going. And he is moving deftly and fighting people off, and is just still with the same fervor.
Yeah, no, great, cool. Yeah, finesse and weaponry.
Mm-hmm.
Don't give me that look. You were thinking it too.
So, okay. So, I wanted to let you know that it's the person cannot use any dice that rolls lower than the number of lashes. So I can still use a 4. I just can't use 3, 2, or 1.
Okay.
So I got 2.
Okay. On a 2, you managed to land. You do take a minor wound in the process, but you are now on Persepholus's back, and he is not saddled, mind you. He's set up for pulling, not for riding. But
I'm a farm kid. I don't care.
You're bareback on him. But he is on, and he is now free. Mykolas. 4. Yeah, you are able to dive on, and that one, had it taken... I have a written record of that. I should look at that. Oh, yeah, no. He dead as you jump up and drive your sword. And the blood spatters and all but boils off of Sir Bryant. Like it is not permitted to be there. Rowan. Oh, I'm sorry, Umberto. 3. That one is not quite dead, but it is looking quite hurt. Rowan, sorry.
4.
4. Another one dead. And Raphael?
4.
Dang. There's only one left. And this one is starting, and this one is hurt. But these are blood. Yeah, no, it doesn't know not to stop. It is going to hurl itself at. It's by Raphael, so it is going to do 2 minors to Raphael.
I am at my second dramatic wound.
Okay. There's one remaining wolf. Approaches. Oh, wait, hang on. Because Persepolis is free.
That's what I was waiting for.
He's gonna stomp this thing to death, and we're all just gonna be like, yes!
I had Persepolis roll 4 dice. They're all 10s.
Yes!
Leaps up and just smashes the thing. And just like the first hoof catches it on the head and just slams it into the ground. It squishes out from under it, and he is not done. If you've ever seen a horse trample a snake, this is what it is. Strike, 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 strike. Lenora, I am going to need you to make another finesse and ride check because you're barebacking a frenzying horse.
I am.
Persepolis actually holds the mantle of Mr. Ed.
Yeah.
I got a 2 with 1 dice left over.
Do you want to sell me that? Get you another hero point.
Yes.
All right.
I would.
Okay, you get another hero point. I get a villain.
Sounds great.
Whoa.
And
Don't give me that.
First one to sell.
that is going to be
First one
another
to
2
take.
minor wounds to you, Lenora. You
many?
do manage to
Sorry.
stay on, but you are being badly bounced as this thing is jumping around. Is that you to your next dramatic wound?
You said 1 or 2?
2.
Yes, I am at my next dramatic wound.
Okay, so you manage not to fall, but at one point it reaps back and you just get clocked in the head. And it's a pretty bad hit to your head, and there's a bit of blood.
Yay, more blood!
Blood.
But suddenly there's quiet. And Umberto, you take a moment to evaluate, and there's no more creatures. But the pull that had been manifesting before as vertigo, you have a clear direction in your head now. The path continues to go north. You are being pulled northwest. Off the path into the woods.
Everyone okay?
For given values of okay.
Raphael's going to say, I'm fine. I've been through tougher scrapes than this. He's going to say that and is going to sort of like turn, because sorry, I lost his accent for a second. He's going to turn and kind of sort of stand up and is just going to lean into the fact that his cloak falls just so, and is going to sort of like do the whole flourish and flick his rapier and like to get the blood sort of off of it and then put it back, and then just kind of says and it's gonna just start playing. It's gonna sort of start playing it off. He is very wanton. He is not, depending on who's close to him, is going to pick up on the subtler things, but for all intents and purposes, he is very laissez-faire about his current condition and predicament.
You see Lenora almost laying on Persepolis' back now, just blood dripping from her head. And you hear her mumbling, and all you can make out in Vidachin is merda.
Let me take a look at that. And he's gonna walk over to her and is going to says, may I?
Padre, please don't waste your time. I will be okay. She's just looking around.
She's looking at you as if there were 3 of you, and she doesn't know which one to make eye contact with.
Okay, so he's gonna gently reach up and sort of grab her shoulder and just kind of give it a sort of reassuring squeeze and spend a hero point to do miracle worker on her. And can I say I gain another hero point because I don't know when to leave well enough alone and not make myself in condition worse? Because I imagine this takes some. It doesn't mechanically take a lot out of him, but I
No,
imagine.
this isn't going to be leave well enough alone. This is entirely beneficial to the party. So
Okay, that's fair.
this
That's
isn't
fair.
this isn't going to be. No, this isn't the quirk. But as Yuli said, touch. Suddenly, Lenora, you feel as this warm energy from Raphael's hand just suddenly fills your whole body, and your head clears. And you are going to lose the second dramatic wound and every minor wound back to the first dramatic.
Father, you continue to be the most interesting priest I've ever met.
I am just the priest. And he will kind of, as soon as he sees that she's okay, he'll kind of sort of wander back over to his horse and sort of like clench his jaw and yank himself back up into the saddle.
Umberto, do we have time to rest and recover, or do we need to go now? You're the one that's leading us.
He doesn't sense any others nearby, right?
No, but you know, as long as the Blessure remains open.
Yeah.
It's a monster closet.
Right now, we're safe from more of them, but we won't be for long.
Then, do you want to go deal with it now?
The sooner the better.
Okay. He'll grab his rifle. You said the woods, yes?
And he'll point northwest.
Mm-hmm.
That way.
It is clear the cart is not going in that direction. And the horses are going to have a hard time too.
Yeah.
What's the plan?
I think Lenora's going to go up to, or go, like, get down from Persepolis and look him in the face. And look at everybody and then look him in the face saying, I think you can take care of this area while we're gone.
He starts nuzzling at the bag that you carry the cornucopia in.
Of course, you were a very good horse, even though you cracked my skull earlier. I forgive you.
He nuzzles your face.
And she just like brings out a whole handful of fruits.
He also then directs you to feed the other horses.
Of course.
You will feed me and my soldiers, wench, for we have done glorious battles.
I am not worthy. And the other horses.
And he whinnies at each of the other horses, and they sort of create a circle around the wagon. And he stands at the front and gives you what appears to be a bow.
I think they've got it.
Equus would be proud. Let's do this on foot.
All right. Stepping forward into the brush. The going is not particularly easy. This is thick old wood that has never been cut. And so this is going to be brawn and athletics, unless anyone has a specific way they want to approach this that you think would justify another risk.
I would like to argue.
Mm-hmm.
I'm using my wits and warfare to guide them through as I would a company of soldiers.
Okay. What I will say that will do is, so I'm going to give you, this is going to be particularly difficult because getting the company of soldiers through thick forest would be difficult. So you're going to need 2 raises for the initial pass. What I'm going to, actually, here's what I'm going to say. By doing this, you are taking the risk for everyone. So the group is just going to roll 1 risk. It'll be yours. You need 2 to succeed, otherwise you get lost. And there are an additional 2 risks of wounds taken over the passage. So it'll be you rolling for everyone.
All right, I can do that. That's actually a decent pool for me, particularly because I have a dramatic wound and flare. And because it's a 3-point skill, I can re-roll 1 die. So, oh, that's nice. That's nice. All right. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4.
4. All right. You pass and manage to mitigate all wounds. It's not easy going. It's not quick going, but you're able to kind of pull them through. Were there any dice left over, by the way?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm just curious.
I already gave you one.
I'm just asking. Oh, that's right. Lenora, you still feel this luck behind you. This in the lashes that you hold. And you know there is another way to mitigate them.
I sure do. I don't want to do it right now.
You can pay to fate if you like. If you give me 4 villain points, we will remove a whole lash.
I just won't do that.
Okay.
I
just want to make sure everyone knows how expensive fate lashes are.
Jesus.
I am forever cursed.
But you all move in the direction Umberto has gestured, and using Umberto kind of as your lodestone, you're able to stay more or less on track as you go through, and suddenly you come to a massive clearing. Scorch marks everywhere, scarred bodies everywhere, looking like they've been dragged, looking like they've been tossed around. And in the middle of it is this weird circular hole. But it's not a hole in anything. There's no wall for there to be a hole in. It's just a hole in reality. And as you get closer, you realize hole is not the correct word. It is a wound. And it is bleeding profusely. Streams of putrid smelling blood running in seemingly all directions. And everything feels wrong about it. But there's nothing else in this clearing now. Though there's signs of battle all around you. Rona speaks up. You smell the ash of the fire?
I do.
It smells familiar. This was Devi fire. At first.
One of them is Losage.
Perhaps. I do not have the means to tell from a corpse. But one of these corpses, perhaps. Did you ever fight Portiers in your wars?
Not many show up in Sarmatia. I think we saw 1 or 2, but not many. Montaigne and Sarmatian don't often go to war with one another.
Too much Eisen in the way.
Nice.
But one was here and had to fight. And won.
If you can call this winning.
They left alive, the other didn't. Umberto, as you get closer, hearing Mykolas kind of muttering to himself, as you all probably gotten used to, you come up to the gate itself, and you see that as it formed, and whenever Mykolas and Rona are speaking, you can hear Mykolas speak. You cannot hear Rona. As you step up to the gate itself, you see there in the middle a human body, cut in half, bifurcated, one on each side of the gate, of the wound, of the blessure. And it's wearing Samartian clothing. But you're in Samartia, so that's not entirely surprising.
I never realized it was that gruesome or permanent.
Through the gate, you can hear the sound of an ocean at storm. And also a sucking sound, gulping. Like a wound bleeding so hard it's almost bubbling inside as air tries to move. Everything about this is evil. What are you doing, Umberto?
He's gonna look back at everybody. I know what to do. And I need you all to trust me.
Are you going to end up like that guy? And she's going to draw her attention over to the separated body.
No. What I'm doing is going to be far more dramatic and a little more my speed.
You're going to go into that, aren't you?
Yes, I'm aware. I had a plan.
Okay. Just wanted it out there.
Yeah. Yes, because that is the only way I can close it safely.
Do you need someone to come with you?
It would be dangerous.
That's not why I asked.
To be honest with you, Mykolas, I don't know if I'll be able to make it back. I don't want to risk anybody else's life.
Then can I put the odds a little more in your favor? And I promise I won't do what I did last time.
I like that you have to preface this.
The whole bifurcated thing, I would rather have that. No.
And what Leonora is going to do is she's going to take a step towards Umberto, and she is going to kiss him on the cheek and bless him, giving him 4 bonus dice to roll until the end of the scene.
Mm-hmm.
And I take another lash.
You sure do. You're back to 5.
No!
Mykolas will pull his sword from his scabbard. I know you said that you would have difficulty coming back on your own. Does that mean you want to go alone?
I would. I've been there many times. I know the ways. And I would prefer to do this alone.
Very good.
Just make sure you can come back to us, yeah?
What are you doing, Umberto?
He's going to he's going to just kind of nod all of them in turn, and he's going to. I can mark one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, what he's going to do is, as he's going to kind of try to secretly draw out the dagger he uses. And
I'm pretty sure all of their eyes are on you right now to see what the hell it is you're about to do. So you're probably not very secret.
Yeah, it's not going to be very. He's going to make he's going to make a show of it like it's part of the thing he's doing, and he's going to pull back, and they're going to see a wound on the back of his arm that's kind of been scarified, like it's been used repeatedly and just not let heal completely. And he's going to cut it. Yeah. Thought about that. And he's going to go up to Raphael. If I don't make it back, I need you to promise me at least one thing. And he's going to just smile. Just say it. At the right time. And then he'll pull him into a hug. And as he's hugging him, he's going to hit him with the mark.
Oh boy!
So you're taking to do a major mark that is a dramatic wound. Yes.
Yep.
If anyone, I'm presuming you're doing the hug so other people are not seeing that. So
yeah,
Raphael, as he has you back, you pull out your knife and you do a cut sufficient to be a dramatic wound. Whatever your next dramatic wound is, it tops you off, and then touching the mark of the blood, you dab a little bit of it on Raphael's back. And you feel immediately the connection. As you step away from that hug and turn to walk away, you could, if you were blindfolded and thrown somewhere, you could point to Raphael, just like there in that direction, perfectly, unerringly, regardless of how far away he was. And you step away and you turn around, and there you see the Blessure, still bleeding, still moaning, still growing.
All right. Enough of the sentimental, serious nature. I gotta go be a hero.
And Raphael will instinctually do the sign of the cross as Umberto gets ready to do whatever it is he's doing.
All right.
All right. And he will...
Traversing the Blessure is easy enough. All you have to do is step through. Anyone could do it.
And he'll take a step through.
Immediately, you are back in this place you know so well. Is this your first time being physically here?
Fully, yes.
You step through, and the winds around you are blowing, but this time it is hot, and it is humid. The sun still beating down over you, blood red, even though it's in the middle of the sky. The waves all around you tossed and going, and you are walking on the blood. You turn around, and you face the wound. Do you go to close it?
Yep.
You reach up your hand and you put it at the top of the wound and start dragging it down. And like a zipper, you all watch as the wound closes. And then pop, gone. Like it was never there, because there was nothing there for it to be on. You can see the blood where it had spattered and poured out. But almost immediately that blood starts to dry up, to clot. But Umberto is gone.
Lenora runs to where the wound used to be.
Run through it as if air. It is.
This doesn't take much time, does it?
Can I make a could I think back to what this is, given that Raphael has a scholarship as high as he is? Does he know what just happened?
This is blood magic. This is the sorcery that the prophets were talking about. And blessures like that were why.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Mykolas will go. We've seen him use his abilities before.
Not like this. It has never been like this.
Do you trust him?
Takes a minute. Of course I trust him.
Then we'll see him. It's just taking him time to travel the ways he travels. That's all.
In order to come back, would he know the bit about what he would?
You have no idea how it works.
Okay, I didn't know if he would know anything about how it worked.
No.
Okay, but yeah, no, he just.
It involves blood. Usually, the good ones use their own. The bad ones will tear the world whenever it suits them. But the third prophet, definitively, there is no such thing as a good portier. And that's a big part of why the church is not particularly well appreciated in Montaigne right now, at least among the nobles. And even the second one was like, the risks are probably too great.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have the benefit of Sandaris, as in at least they can control this devil that they are in with it. All portiers, it's the portiers. It's their own. The ones that do it, it's them. It's not anything else making them worse. And Roan, these were the first monsters that the reborn Knights of Avalon fought. The reason the Knights were brought back was to drive the portiers out of Montaigne, out of Avalon. On that, we go back into the in-between, this world of blood. And it's going to be a minute before you can port out. This entire area is in disarray. It's like it is turbulence. It is chaos all around you. And a figure, it's almost like a spout, a fountain out of the sea of blood that slowly rises up and then takes the form of a human. and then turns and tilts its head and look at you, and takes the form of an inconsequential looking person. You'd pass 1,000 of them and never notice them in the street. They're the NPC that the programmer just cloned over and over again to make it look like a crowd. This is not a human. It's a human impersonator. And it steps forward, its head tilted. You closed it.
I did.
Why?
All wounds need healed.
Do they?
Lest they infect the world, yes.
Infect? Imagine a world that bled like this one does. Where you didn't need to draw in your own blood. Where you could just pull from whatever you want.
No. I mean, red's a good color, but too much of it stains.
Unfortunate. You have taken what was meant to be mine.
Sorry.
I'll carve more from your own corpse.
You can try.
And 2 scimitars appear in its hands as it moves forward towards you.
Playing this game, are we? Okay.
What's your approach?
If any of them could see him, the cocky behavior that he's always spouting,
Mm-hmm.
it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is a completely different person. He's suddenly become defensive and pulls the rapier and takes a more guarded stance. Like, he's definitely defending someone. Like, there's somebody behind him that isn't there, but he's making sure this person does not get to them.
Gotcha. Resolve in weaponry as you are holding him off.
You have 4
I was going to say
dice.
the 4 extra dice. That's
You can use it whenever you want. You can use 1 now. You can use 4 now.
Oh, so I don't have to use all 4. I can use.
Yeah, you can parse them out.
I think I'll use 2 right now.
Okay.
Five.
Dang. Any left over?
Nope.
Okay. All right. As you move in and you are fighting, and he's fighting well, but you are holding him off as you are just going, and you can feel as you are calling on the luck. There's one moment where you think for sure he's gonna have you, and then you slip again, like you did in the fight. You're walking on blood, the footing, but this time as it moves, it causes his blade to kind of slink over to the side while still looking cool in the moment, like you did a really cool like agent thing, and you're able to hold him off, and he is grimacing and he is going at, and you are putting holes in him, and every time you hit him, this form that he is trying to hold together starts to break apart a little bit, and he kind of stands back. A warrior. Interesting. Why untaught? What is this strange lilt to your tongue?
I was taught to defend before I was taught anything else. This was just a bittersweet bonus.
I'm going to spend a villain point. And he splits into two forms that then resolve and come together. And you are looking at Rowan and Raphael. It's wrong. There's only red where their eyes are. And the hair, at some moments it looks like hair, and some moments it looks like blood just trickling in a certain way as they both round. And who are these? They seem important.
They are.
Can you strike them?
See?
And they come in to attack. What's your approach? Same?
Yeah.
You're mixing it up.
He's not gonna. Ooh, actually, he's gonna try to. They're both attacking.
Yeah.
He's going to run towards them, but try to position them in such a way that they hit each other.
Ooh, very nice. I'm actually going to call that wits and warfare. Or I'd give you finesse and warfare too. He's going to get these two hitting on each other one way or another. It's
Either way, I win.
Or if it doesn't work out, Roan, Raphael, and Umberto sandwich. You know, like we all knew was coming. Be the good name of the story: the priest and the polycule.
3. And I
3.
used the other 2 dice.
You do take a minor wound as they come together, but for the most part, you manage to get out of the way as they slam into each other in the middle and reform the one immediately. And it turns and reforms again, and now it's Leonora. You've been marked. What a tasty bit of magic. Who is she?
Family.
Will she be as tasty as you? And goes in for a strike.
You have no idea how much she would make you choke on your words. And he would try to slice up.
All right. Finesse and weaponry. Unless you want panache and weaponry because of the one-liner on that one.
Oh, you know what? I'll go with panache. Why not?
Which gives you flair, plus there's still 2 remaining.
You have 2 dice that you could use if you
Oh,
need
I
them.
used.
Oh, you already
the
used
other
them?
2. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
4.
4. You manage to get in some more cuts, and it staggers back. You take 2 of your own from as the 2 of you are going back and forth and hitting. But you have you're doing better in this fight than it is, and it steps back and shakes its head furiously, blood everywhere, and then suddenly it grows, and it creates this very tall figure, extended limbs, long blood red hair coming down its back, and you have never seen this figure before. And who is this one you travel with? They seem different.
Not gonna lie. Don't know this one.
Fire. Cold. Anger. Cousin. Curious.
Okay.
And they go to make this huge sweeping attack with claws.
As they're sweeping, if this is supposed to be Mykolas, you need to get out more. And he'll attempt to leap the raking of the claws and come down on the hand.
Okay. That again sounds like, well, I'm actually going to give you finesse and athletics here because this is more you dodging and then taking opportune damage at the end of it. I feel like we're going to need battle music for this in the final. 4. You manage to leap the slash entirely, and you come down driving your sword in, and it catches it in the chest. And it starts to like disintegrate again, and then reforms, and it's your face. Do you know this one any better? Who is this? Why does it speak as from another land?
Because this is the world he was born into.
It reaches forward and taps your forehead. Well fought. I'll see you again. And it collapses into the waves of blood. And you feel as the oceans around you regain their peace, and the healing of the Blessure finishing behind you, as the boundaries between Thea and the in-between have fully finally healed and knit.
Oh, that was fun. Now, to get out of this damn place.
Still in your head is the mark. You can't point. Raphael seems to be very far away in literally every direction simultaneously. But you can sense them.
All right. Never done it on this big a scale before. Let's give it a shot. And he'll try to focus right on Raphael, like picturing him right there.
Raphael, you start to feel like a tug. Like not strong, but it's like something in the middle of your back pulling you forward, almost as if from inside. And then suddenly, there's Umberto. In front of you, as if about to give you a hug, that kind of proximity.
Raphael instinctually sort of brings Umberto in and just sort of holds him there for a second because I imagine that he is beat up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, where are you at with your wounds?
A little past my second dramatic.
Yep.
Yeah, no, he will sit because I still have one
Mhm.
hero point. He's going to sit there and is just going to be like, he's going to sort of take Umberto's like face like in between his hands, and
Mhm.
he's going to spend the his hero point and do Miracle Worker on Umberto
Okay.
to take down at least the second.
Your minor wounds all the way back to that dramatic wound and the second dramatic wound itself are healed, Umberto.
That's a dramatic sorcery.
Umberto, you just feel better. Not totally healed, but better. As maybe it's the hug, maybe it's the good hug, but as some of the cuts and stuff close rather quickly.
And if I'm honest, and he'll look at Mykolas, I've never done that before. I didn't know if it was gonna work.
You did it. You pinch it. What?
You asked me to trust you, so I trusted you. I knew you would come back.
I should have taken you with me though, because that could have used someone.
At least you look a little bit better than you did. I am gonna sort of, and he will sort of find a spot, a tree, a rock, and just sort of plop down there and sort of rest his elbows on his knees and sort of just hang his head there for a second and just off to the side.
Mykolas is going to see to the body that was split in two. He's going to search it for any like sign of who this was first.
As you are going through and searching things, you also see a sigil that was being worn as a pendant that's been that was also bifurcated, and it is the symbol of the Ratas.
He'll collect that. And is there anything else on him? Just
a few coins, a string that has been knotted in odd ways. You almost expect it to be like a slashed like bracelet or something, but it isn't. It's just been tied in on itself a number of times, holds an odd number of knots in a kind of strange configuration. And also there is another pendant type thing, but it wasn't being worn around his neck. It was in a pocket and therefore was not destroyed by the pot. And when you open it up, you see a sketch of a pretty girl. You'd probably guess in her late teens.
He will collect the string and the other pendant. He will pocket them. He will move the pieces together. He will then pull out his bottle of vodka. Say, in Valis's name, I wish you safe travels into the next world. And in honor of Rona, whose gifts I have used. And then he will cause a bonfire where the body is.
Soon the bonfire is burning, and whoever that was is consumed in the flames. Is anyone else doing anything in this moment?
How far are we from where we left Persepolis?
Probably a couple miles.
Couple else. Okay.
Did Mykolas burn the body where it was lying, or did he move the body to do that?
Considering the amount of damage that was already done to the area, burning the body there would also help deal with the blood that accumulated and everything.
Oh, interesting. As you were doing your work, now that the actively flowing blood had had a chance to go away, you notice that patch of ground is the only thing that wasn't burned.
Yeah, no, it seemed the right place to do it. So we also don't want it too close to any trees.
And no trees in that precise place. Lenore, is anyone like checking? Raphael, you were right there. Is anyone like really looking into Umberto, or are people more giving him his room? Like, what's happening?
Raphael is going to sort of look up and just sort of watch Umberto a bit, making sure that he is actually okay, because he poured the energy into him and it helped him feel better. But like that kind of stuff, like, because when he had realized what it was, he went almost as white as a sheet, because there's some fear there, but he's just watching him, not with any kind of harsh judgment or anything, but more worry, concern than anything.
You notice a red dot in the middle of his forehead.
He says, mi amigo, Umberto. And he'll do this on the center of his forehead, not really say anything out loud, but we'll just, you've got a little something.
Then he'll wipe at his forehead.
It doesn't come off.
What?
You have a red dot on your forehead.
You can't really feel it as you're touching it.
Mm.
And as you rub, nothing happens to it.
Leonora now, after all of this, comes up to Umberto and says, "Good, you made it back. All in one piece?"
For the most part.
Good. And then she'll give a little jab to like his ribs. And like just to like get a little like sibling kind of punch in there, and says, "You were in there for very long, and I was worried sick, and I'm very happy that you're alive. It's fine." And I, like getting into a hug at this time, and we'll look directly into his eyes and say, "You have to warn us when you're going to do something stupid." And she's going to read him.
All right.
I would spend the entirety of my life, Kujina, warning you if I was going to do that.
Yes, the passionate one. Now I get it. I get it now. It's fine.
You see, as per usual, the lovers, the war. You see the black thread looped around one of his wrists before it goes off in the direction that it has gone off in the past. And both of the arcana, as you look at them, are dripping blood. And you also see the spot.
She will take a hand, place it on his forehead, and she'll grab his wrist, like instinctively, now that she's kind of out of the weave, and just kind of look at him concerned. We will talk, but it's enough about us. I am concerned with our friend Rowan. We need to get back.
See, we have a father figure to take care of.
See.
Are we moving now?
With haste, I would think. Rowan?
Ron this whole time has just been staring at Umberto. And then she would just wordlessly just turn and walk. And she seemed to be very pissed off. But she's
Yeah.
not saying anything.
Raphael will look and because quick question, is his empathy high enough to put two and two together as to why she's so mad?
There's a lot of reasons Roan could be angry right now,
That's
but
fair.
the blood
Aside-
mage does seem somewhat reasonable.
Okay. That's no, at this point, Raphael's going to just like, Rowan, wait up a minute. And he's going to sort of get up, drag himself up off the stump, and is just going to get up and is going to follow her with haste.
Okay. You catch up.
Ron, why are you running as if the devil himself is chasing you? You have longer legs.
And she'll just kind of angrily look back at Raphael, and then her face will soften. And she goes, no reason, just natural anger.
Ron,
After what?
I appreciate the attempt, but you cannot lie to me.
Okay. And then she'll angrily turn and start walking away again.
It's just like Raphael's going to do his best. If she's taking her full stride, he is going to be keeping up with her, and he's not going to stop.
Question. Is Rowan keeping to the path that they blazed to come this way when Mykolas was leading, or is Rowan too angry to pay attention to that kind of shit, and is she just walking in a direction?
She is walking in the direction that we came because she wants to get back to.
Okay, so she is following the path. Okay.
But if he keeps it up after like a
Yes.
minute or so,
Oh yeah,
she's gonna turn and just look him dead in the eyes and go, he is my friend. I have found this compassionate feelings for him as someone I'm being very close with. And I have just found out that he is something that people that I call my family have been fighting for centuries and have killed for centuries. And he fucking lied multiple times. I'm done for the moment. Will you please leave me alone so I don't turn around and try to throw an axe through his fucking chest? Please?
I'm not leaving you alone through this. I told you that once, and I'm going to tell it to you again. You can be angry at me if you wish. Will punching me make you feel better so you can release this energy? Is that what this is going to take? And he's in her, he's within arm's reach of her, but he is not going to be popping her personal space, but he is within arm's reach and is pointedly looking up and like maintaining intense eye contact.
You don't know when to stop.
No, I do not.
Go ahead and take your hero point, Raphael.
And at this point, she just kind of shoulder relaxes, and she is going to grab him,
Mm-hmm.
but not aggressively,
Mm-hmm.
and will kiss him on the forehead. Thank you. And last time I tried to punch you, you didn't let me. and she'll just gently nudge his chin, and then she will calmly walk away.
No, nuh-uh, you don't get to do that. And he's going to reach out and grab her by her lapels
Oh shit!
and bring her in.
Oh, all right.
And
Does
it's going-
Rowan definitely gets to opt out of this if she does so
Yes.
desires. If
he
does
will-
Rowan
if-
stop this from happening?
Hell no.
Okay.
She's very thrown off by it though, and she turns into like a teenager getting her first kiss ever, and she just kind of buckles a bit, and then she
No,
lifts him
he-
into the air.
his
Mykolas is walking by
his
and
arms
goes,
are around her. Yeah, no. So at like when he does this and he kind of pulls back and is like his forehead is against hers, and he will say, "Every pillar and rock of strength needs one of their own. I'm not going anywhere. Do you hear me?"
In Castilian, she goes, "You're stubborn as shit."
And in Castilian says, "Since the day I was born, and it will be this way till the day I die."
Shit.
Mykolas is walking by and just oh, it's about fucking time.
You shut up. Hush.
Gaete.
This
Can
slow
Umberto
burn
see
officially
this?
took 3 episodes. What do we?
All the slow burn happened off screen. This is what we're going to say.
Can Umberto see this?
Yeah, presuming he's walking.
He's not. I guess the flowers worked.
You with the flat. You know what? And she'll like point at Umberto. And then, by the way, she never put Raphael down.
Raphael hasn't let go of her. I need you to know this.
And then she will look back at Raphael. I would like to put you down now.
You can. And he'll sort of, and more in point of fact, he'll just kind of slowly, like his arms will come from unlinked from around her neck and sort of rub down her arms as he kind of stands back, because he's not that much shorter than her. She's 6. Well, no, because he's only 5'10" and she is 6'4". So she's
Yeah.
she's up in, yeah. So he'll just sort of and he
All right.
holds her hand as they walk back.
As you all are moving and going along, Umberto, suddenly from that point where people have kept pressing you, trying to tell you about this mark that's apparently on your forehead, you feel a heat. Not hot enough to burn, but it's uncomfortable. And then you have an image of a man and a fight. And there's fire everywhere. And a storm blazing from above. Fire, rain, lightning everywhere. And the man, desperate, hurt, reaches out and makes a chopping motion. But the motion, even though aimed at his attacker, doesn't hit him. It hits something else. And you watch as he tears open a hole in the world, cutting the Los Angeles in half. And steps through, leaving it unclosed as he transits somewhere else. And as you come out of that, you know exactly where he is.
Oh. Well, I know where the person who did that is.
Where?
North, and not very far.
Closer than I was expecting.
Oh, boy.
With all due respect, we have been damaged a lot today, and we have very important concerns to attend to. Is this something we need to do now?
Just like before, we are in no immediate danger, but I at least know where he is. We do need to rest and recover, and I could use a drink.
You and me both. And a bath. I feel like. And he's gonna sort of pull the shirt away from his chest that is well stuck to him with the amount of blood he has been bleeding all over it.
And thank you, Rafael, for being my first test.
What exactly do you mean by that? What did I do?
You brought me home.
You know what? At this point, we'll talk about it later.
And with that, as the group goes to get back to where Persepolis and the cart and all the other horses are, we pull back and then pull somewhere else, back into the in-between, where the oceans of blood crash over each other, and panning low over the waves, suddenly there is an island in the middle of this ocean of blood. And up on it are a number of these creatures, these shapes, forms made entirely of blood. And one slowly creeps up out of the ocean, sliding along, comes up, and then reforms itself. The one who came unasked to our realm, I have placed a hound upon his trail. But interestingly enough, I think I've found the Divide. And with that, we are going to bring this session to a close. Thank you to Basics of the Game for your channel hosting us. Thank you to all of my lovely players. Thanks to Dragon for the Dark Rose and all the production stuff that you do. And remember, keep playing games.